The college football season hasn't ended yet, but this being our final show, we're going to give you our postseason awards, starting with SEC Offensive Player of the Year. Lewis?
I'm taking Aaron Murray. The guy rallied Georgia from an 0-2 start to the SEC championship game, and he's also the most efficient quarterback in the SEC.
Good pick, but I'm going to have to go with Jarius Wright from Arkansas. He leads the league with 812 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. That's talent right there.
Good picks, and I'm going to go with Trent Richardson. And if I have to explain why, then you haven't been watching college football this year.
Very, very good point. SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Jarvis Jones, Georgia. When you're looking for those big defensive plays, he's right there. He gets them.
Jarvis Jones, 7th in the nation in tackles for loss with 19.5, and then 2nd in the nation in sacks. I like Jarvis Jones as well.
On this one, I'm taking a DB. I'm taking Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
Very good pick. I went between him and Jones.
Has been calling him the Honey Badger. The guy has made the biggest plays on special teams and on defense in all of LSU's biggest games this season. Tyrann Mathieu.
Good pick.
Which team and player has been the most disappointing in the SEC this season, Lewis?
Okay, biggest disappointment. I skipped on Mississippi State, and I'm going with Florida because they came back with Charlie Weiss and this supposedly great offensive scheme. Okay, and 2 running backs who are world-class sprinters in Jeffrey Demps and Chris Rainey, and they're also fifth-year seniors. Rainey only had 4 touchdowns on the year. Biggest disappointment as an individual, Mississippi State's Vic Ballard, 8 touchdowns on the year, only 1 touchdown this year against a team from the SEC.
On the team, I couldn't agree with you more. University of Florida, they're a national championship program, and they just really fell short this year. John Brantley going out, they didn't really have a quarterback. They just didn't get it together. And on the biggest disappointment for the player, Alabama's Marquise Mays. He was #1 behind Julio Jones, and he didn't do anything this season.
I went between Florida and Mississippi State. Ultimately decided on Mississippi State for the most disappointing team. And for the most disappointing player, Stephen Garcia, after how high the expectations were for him this season. You've seen when he plays at a high, when he's on his game, he's one of the best quarterbacks.
And we praised him after his first game too. Praised him so much.
Then he fell off the wagon.
On the other side, which player and team have been the most surprising?
Most surprising, I'm going to go with LSU, and as strange as that is, I know they were preseason #4 in the country, but when it's all said and done, if they win the SEC title game and the national title game, because of the teams they have beaten and the quality of those teams, this could be one of the best teams in the history of college football. And also, surprise player, Mississippi State's own Cam Lawrence, a guy many said was overrated when he got here, finishes with 114 tackles on the season. Cam Lawrence.
Surprising team, I'm going to go with Georgia. The first show we were saying, are they going to show up? Are they the underdogs this year? And with their 10-game winning streak, that's a huge feat for Georgia going into the SEC championship. And then player, I know this is a weird one, but linebacker Darren Bates from Auburn, he came in as a 2-star recruit, and he was an all SEC freshman on their freshman team. So, that's a pretty big feat for a 2-star recruit.
Last year freshman, so this year as a sophomore.
Very good picks. Well, I went with Vanderbilt for the surprise team, and then the player from the same team, running back Zach Stacy, for surprise player. Stacy in 2009 and 2010 rushed for 809 yards. This season, well over 1,000. Vanderbilt, one of the top 3 turnarounds in college football this year.
Good picks. I actually played junior high football with Darren Bates back when I was
such a big guy.
You're living the glory days.
Yeah, right. Well, which game in college football would you all say was the best this season?
I'm going to say LSU, Alabama. Everyone said it. Okay. Those are 2 powerhouse teams, and they played a low-scoring game. I thought it was a great game, and, I'd love to see it again.
Michigan State and Wisconsin for me. The way that Wisconsin got out to a quick start, Michigan State comes back, takes the lead. Wisconsin comes back, ties it up, and then Michigan State wins on a Hail Mary. Excellent game.
Right, from Kirk Cousins, not Brian Hoyer. because I was such a genius on that fine episode of the sport. So I'm going to go all the way back to week 2, Notre Dame and Michigan, because that was a game that had 3 lead changes in the final minute and 12 seconds of the game, and also first night game in over 20 years at the University of Michigan.
Good picks. Well, last but not least, who is your Heisman Trophy winner?
I'm taking Andrew Luck on this one, and I was going back and forth between him and Robert Griffin III, but for Andrew Luck, a new coach but no problem this year, 34 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions, huge game against USC where he throws a pick 6 that looks like it's going to kill its team, and he drives them down the field. They win the game. That's my Heisman moment for Andrew Luck.
My Heisman, I'm going to have to go with Trent Richardson. Like you said earlier, what was he? Would you say Offensive Player of the Year?
I nominated him for SEC Offensive Player.
Because, I see him in every position. He really gets it done on the field. And Alabama as a team is falling on his shoulders, and he's doing a great job of it. So
Good picks. And you mentioned the Heisman moment. Robert Griffin, for me, the game against Oklahoma, I think that set it all for him.
Incredible play to end that game. Now it's time for the championship edition of the matchup wrap-up. Let's start with the de facto Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State.
I know this is a shot in the dark, but I really hope Oklahoma wins because right now I think OSU is crying like little babies in their beds after that upset.
I said Oklahoma earlier this year, but I think Oklahoma State can rebound this year. They still have a lot to play for.
And I picked Oklahoma State on our very first episode of the season, so I'm sticking with my pick.
Good picks. Well, the SEC championship game, Virginia Tech versus Clemson. Can the Hokies avenge their early season loss?
Va-Tech. I'm taking Va-Tech, the Hokies in this
Taking
one.
Va-Tech too.
Va-Tech as well. David Wilson is, Logan Thomas. David Wilson, the running back, is playing well as well. But Logan Thomas, the quarterback, is playing poised and with confidence, something he did not do earlier in the
The
season.
inaugural Big Ten championship, Michigan State versus Wisconsin. Can the Badgers avenge their Hail Mary loss in the early season classic?
All 20 Badgers are going to play like honey badgers in this game, and Wisconsin is going to win.
Badgers all the way. I couldn't agree more.
I think Wisconsin in this one as well. They're able to avenge that loss as
I
well.
like that pick, Jonathan.
You would.
That's all the time we have on the Sports Zone. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check out our YouTube page. Please join us again next semester. We've had fun. Thank you for watching the Sports Zone.